Jace,
Architect of
Thought? Yeah, right off the bat.
Alright, what's up, guys? This is Pat. And joined with my probably favorite person in the world, not you, Brandon, and just Matt Higgs. Brandon, you're second.
So rude.
It's close.
So rude.
It's alright, we still love you, bud. So, guys, you know what tonight brings? It brings...
I do, yeah.
The constructed...
Reforging Fates.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fate...
Is that what the set's called, right?
Yeah, sure.
Reforging
I'm going with
Fates.
Fates Reforged in...
No, I like Reforging Fates. That's better.
Reforging Fates in constructed formats. How about that?
Sure.
So... Alright. All set. I'm good for the show. I'm just getting this big thing off my lap because I was trying to find one stupid card, and I obviously have put it somewhere else.
I already found my stupid card for the night.
Uh-oh.
Show that bad boy off.
What stupid card is that?
Foil Tibble.
Full Tibble.
Ugh.
Oh, yeah.
Multiple value.
Multiple.
Oh, we have a
What's a
guy
foil
at our store that
Like
literally
$5.
that's all he collects is Tibble.
A guy.
Yeah, that's my kind of
sad
guy.
life.
He's got
That's a sad life.
he's got like 250 already.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
He's just hoping for that one person, which is going to be me, that breaks
Yeah,
Tibble.
to break it. And
Yep.
then Tibble's really good and it spikes to like $50.
There's going to be some like deck that, there's going to be some ley line that they print that it's like, ignore a random effect, you can choose instead, or something, and then Tibble's going to be awesome. He's just going to be actual loot for 2.
Yep,
That
and
was
Tybalt
pretty
will be
good.
amazing, and everyone will be like, "I want me some Tybalt."
That guy,
GG.
and then he just doesn't trade them. He's like, no.
No, I would. I mean, I don't think you're
I
getting
trade them.
250 Tybalts because you want to trade them.
No,
I think you're just getting 250 Tybalts.
he's got
'Cause you
like
want-
full art ones. He's got, he's got Tybalt.
Yeah, altered Tybalts.
Yeah,
Wow.
That's
Well,
pretty
I
slick.
guess it's kind of full art. Like if you look at the art, if you just take away the text box,
Yeah.
because there's stuff behind.
All Planeswalkers are basically full art.
Are they? I never actually looked close enough.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they've all got like you can see their feet.
Oh yeah, okay. I see.
Yeah, you can like see them, behind the text box.
yes, you can.
Huh.
So, the way the show works, guys, generally we talk about our weeks. And, of course, there's pre-release week, so we will talk about that, because I'm sure there was a lot of fun had. And then we'll get
Yeah.
into... we'll start with probably standard, and then take any guesses if any cards are going to make that jump. That big old jump to a Eternal format.
The mod.
Spoiler alert.
Yes.
Actually, no.
Yeah, I don't... I got none right now.
I
So,
I
would-
guess there's no spoiler.
No, there isn't.
it's not like Siege Rhino.
No.
And
No.
Offensive
Which
now.
and that just offends me that it's because it's just like it's just a good rate because it's like a 4/5 for 4 that has a drain
Yeah.
ability. It's a higher powered highway mercenary or
It's
highway
pretty-
robber.
It's a pretty awesome
It's
card.
like
It's quite a
It's
bit
just-
better.
I want like cool stuff. I don't want like some French vanilla. I don't know. It's
Oh,
just
your
me.
argument is that
just
it's
me.
boring? Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it's just boring. I think Siege Rhino is
Which
very
it's good.
powerful but very boring Magic card.
Yes, I will agree with you, but it's still fun. Because Rhinos come in packs, and when you're putting down your third rounder, your opponent's looking at you with icy eyes going, I want to stab you right now.
The problem
Oh,
is like, or at least this is my store. Everyone's just like, well, you can more Rhino, and no one wanted to do anything else. People just wanted to play Rhinos.
I
It's
know,
really-
but it's just not fun. I mean, it's the same
It's
thing
true.
with Merchant. Gray Merchant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least with Gray Merchant, you could kind of mitigate it. But Siege Rhino's just like, I don't care what your board state looks like. I don't care what my board state looks like. I'm just going to jam this 4/5 for 4.
Yep.
True story.
I don't-
True story. Alright, so let's start about our weeks. Matt, I saw you were in 2 pre-releases.
Whoa.
It's the first weekend I've ever done 2 in a weekend.
And you did very well in your second one, it looks like.
In the second one, yeah, not so great in the first.
So tell us,
Uh,
how was your pre-release?
My first one, I picked Timur, was my clan that I picked. And so I kind of tried to force Timur, even though my red was really weak. It was very aggro-oriented, and the green-blue of the Timur was pretty slow. Like, I didn't have any, like, punchers. I didn't have any 4/4s for 4 or anything like that. I just didn't have any, like,
You had no
high-quality
bears.
cards. Yeah, I didn't have any, like, mid-range bombs.
Yep.
And so, like, I played, like, a Tarka, the red-green dragon, and I was
Yeah.
like, that can do the job for me, but I never got there. And so, like, I shredded the deck and went to Sultai, and with the other half of my pool, I built Boros, and the Boros was actually much better than Sultai. Because with Sultai, I had Silumgar, the hexproof dragon,
Yeah.
which is sweet and all, but it had the same problem. I couldn't get there. My black pool was still pretty weak. And so I went with red-white and was much more impressed with that. It still wasn't great. Like, I had, like, a Monastery Mentor, and I had, like...
Yeah, someone hit the money.
Yeah, I got a Monastery Mentor and a Polluted Delta in the same pack.
Whew.
Like, I saw the Polluted Delta and just assumed it was my rare and kept piling
Such
stuff
a
out
pack.
and then looked. Yeah, same pack. It was pretty neat. And the Polluted Delta was actually the exact fetch I was looking for myself. That's the deck
Nice.
I'm building, Polluted Delta. So it was just perfect.
Excellent.
That was good enough right there. I could have walked right out and saved some time.
Paid for my packs, thanks.
So
Later.
your second one was a 2-headed giant, it sounded like.
Yep. It was me and this guy, Kerry. He's usually like a big control player. I think he has literally beaten me every time we've actually played in a Friday night or a Tuesday night. I think he has every time. And he's always on control, and I'm usually on some weird brew, and he's just like, counter your stuff, kill your stuff, and kill you with a Nephalia Drown Yard or whatever. And so, but he and his friend always play together, and they always do really well. and his friend always plays the aggro plan, and Carrie plays the control plan, and that's pretty much what we did. He took Mardu, and I took Jeskai, and I built. It was actually a red-white deck. Like I splashed at the beginning. I had the Mystic Monastery because that's part of your seeded pack. So
Yeah.
I played one Narset, never cast it, never actually cast any blue spells, even though I added 3 more blue sources and 3 more blue spells. Never actually cast any of them. So it was a red-white deck that was really, really consistent and really sweet. Like I hadn't done two-headed giant sealed in a long time, and you get to actually almost make a draft deck, which is kind of cool.
Sir, is that a Narwhal shirt you're wearing?
Yeah, my sister got this for me.
Excellent. We are. The show is off to a hit already.
Narwhal shirt.
And
Narwhal?
Yeah, I love
behind
narwhals. Actually, if you give me a second.
you. Oh boy.
Man, he's got more narwhal swag.
And he's got Minecraft stuff behind him, if you notice.
Does he?
Yeah.
Can't tell. I don't have Sky Premium, so it's dark.
Yeah. It's I see a sword and an axe back there.
Oh, those things, yeah.
Yeah.
This is at the card shop. Every time I see him, I'm like, I should buy that, and then I don't.
He's got a Narwhal.
Straight up, just has a narwhal.
Yeah, he has
Yep.
a Narwhal.
Dude,
My wife was really sweet, and she got me like a squishable, and it's a narwhal.
Dude.
I love narwhals.
Who doesn't love them? They're just awesome.
Yeah.
Nobody in narwhals like Matt Higgs.
It's actually a tooth, it's not
Yeah.
a horn.
Yeah.
I always thought that was pretty cool.
All right. So you did
Anyway.
pretty well.
Yeah, I did okay. We split, the top 2 of us, we split.
So how many packs did you end up getting?
27.
Woo.
27 apiece. So,
Wow. Okay. Your pre-releases are.
Oh, yeah, no. The guy that runs our shop is very generous. I mean, the
Yeah.
pre-release that we had before that, the single-person pre-release is
Yeah.
1,000 cash prize.
Oh, wow.
He's very generous. I've never seen a shop as generous as this guy.
Is that like a really big store or what?
I'd say, I think there were 90 at
Okay.
our single player, and then there were 31 teams. I had 29, but there were actually a couple others that joined. So
Yeah.
60-ish people for the two-headed giant, which was the biggest he'd ever had.
That's
Wow.
still pretty big. I mean,
Yeah.
I'd never seen a two-headed giant that big.
so that's pretty awesome. Brandon, how'd your pre-release go?
The first one wasn't very good. I wasn't feeling well, like leading up. I think that was pretty obvious last week. I felt pretty awful, and then it just got worse. And then Saturday, I shouldn't have even gone. So wasn't feeling too great about it. Went 3-3, and like deserved to go worse. So I guess I was okay with that. I think maybe I just built my deck well enough that my awful play didn't matter. So not great there. But the next day, my friend and I from Edmonton, I guess you guys don't know where that is. It's about an hour away from where I live. We played Two-Headed Giant, did much better. We got third, so it's pretty okay with that. The decks we built were like essentially what we opened. So I went for the Just Guy box, and he got Abzan, and he opened a pack of cons that was Siege Rhino, Dead Drop, Chief of the Edge, and then Merrick Nightblade. Those were his cover and 3 uncommons. So, needless to say, we went for an Abzan deck. That was pretty good. And then I had that Monastery Mentor that Matt was talking about, and that card is really good. It's very strong.
I've heard that.
Yeah, it's pretty good limited too. So, the only deck we lost to slammed a Citadel or Palace Siege on turn 4.
Oh, yeah,
And
the
that
Grey
card
Merchant
is-
every turn.
Yeah,
That's Grey Merch every turn. Enjoy.
And
No, the
it's
white
twice
one?
as powerful against... Palace Siege is the black one.
Oh,
White
which
one's
one's the
pretty
white
good, too.
one?
Citadel?
I don't know.
Citadel Siege.
Because
Yeah,
they
and they
all
just,
use
like-
their land name for that for that clan. So Citadel and
Okay.
Monastery
Citadel's-
and
Yeah.
Outpost, right. Except Bivouac. I wish they did Bivouac, but it's what, Frontier?
Yeah, it's
Frontier Siege instead of Bivouac Siege. It should have been Bivouac.
Oh, Bivouac Siege would have been pretty funny.
I still think of it as Bivouac Siege.
Anyway, so Citadel Siege then. That card's good. It's very
Yeah, it
difficult
seems...
to beat. I think they picked the wrong mode. They went for the tap a thing.
That's what happened
guess-
with our... We were playing one guy, and he stuck the blue one. And we were
Yeah.
like, oh no, he's just going to
Yeah,
get so
blue.
much... Because he stuck it on 3, and I was like, oh, he's just going to, like, loot every turn. But he picked
Yeah.
the 2... you have to pay 2 more. And we just plowed through it. when we had
Shrugged
to.
and said
Yeah,
okay.
basically,
Yeah, I
you
was
just
like,
go.
okay, I'll just.
You go,
I have 10
"Thanks."
mana over here. Who cares?
You
Yeah.
just thank them and then move on. So
So
Yep,
I
thank
don't
you
know.
for
I think
time walking.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I think even through that card's just so good. Like either mode is insane. And then the other guy had the Sultai, the con, and if you can't
Oh.
deal with him, which is he's very difficult to deal with in this format unless he attacks, which they rightfully did not ever attack with him. He just kills you because he's just so much value. So it
I've been
was
playing
really
a
difficult.
set of him in my standard deck. In my new standard deck, I've got a play set of him, and he's real good.
He seems really powerful. I'm definitely thinking about him for.
Yeah.
Well, I'm only gonna play Sultai forever now, as long as Delve is a thing. So.
Well, I will say,
It just feels so
unfortunately,
good.
I did not get the
That's so
pre-release. Sadly,
Oh,
Lame.
I had to work,
Where's Nayman? He probably did.
so I had to work, but I got full coverage on what happened and all that fun stuff. And yeah, it was. I guess it went really well at our store.
Yeah.
They filled both events, so
It's good.
solid.
life is good.
I tried to blow someone out with a channel harm, by the way. I couldn't
What's
do
that?
it. Channel harm. I really wanted to get somebody.
Oh.
That was my goal for the pre-release.
Chan of the Vitugazi.
Is that the same thing?
Well, kind of. You gain life, I think it is instead.
Okay.
But I remember when I was, because that's when I started playing was in Ravnica. I blew people out with the 8 mana fog all the time. It was super fun. We were not very good Magic players, but it was fun.
No,
Why?
but you have fun.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
just wanted to get someone so
Yeah.
bad. I just couldn't do it.
I think I got one in each of my pools, and every time, like, I'd play it, and it's like, oh man, am I ever going to have 6 mana open when he
Yeah.
goes for the throat? No way. He knows something's up. Or that I just have land.
I swear to God, this 6-man is not for anything important.
Don't worry about it. I'm just gonna flip this more.
I'm just gonna
Okay,
put my
I'll let
hand
the
down.
channel- Haha.
F6.
Yeah, I got like a 3-for-1 with it, which was pretty good. But I wanted to just like super wreck somebody, and I couldn't do it. So
Yeah.
Oh, well.
So much mana. It's so many manas.
Well,
It's so
the good
many
news
mana.
is we get to talk about cards that are going to go into standard for sure.
yeah,
And what are they
So
going
we'll
to
start
do?
with Channel Harm.
We can
obvious standard staple. Every deck is now
Obvious.
splashing white.
uh,
Channel harm cannot be beaten.
Warped the format.
Format warping. Yeah.
Well, I mean, so
Yeah.
let's start with the big guys, the 2 white guys that everyone swears is going to change Jeskai forever.
The 2 good mythics in this set.
Monastery Mentor and Soulfire Grandmaster.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
I mean, you have to think that Soulfire, what's his face? I
The
mean,
lifelink?
is real. It's right. Yeah, the lifelinker.
Yeah,
I think that
Soulfire
he's-
Grandmaster.
I think 60% of the time he's just going to be in a Johnny Sunstriker. He's just going to be a 2/2 lifelinker.
Yeah.
I think that to get them to get them with a lightning strike and gain 3, you make it a lightning helix. I'm just not sure if that's. I can't. I basically think that if that's your line, then you're going to be like on the Stoke plan, and you see there's going to be like one red white deck that likes it, and if you want to just be like a value deck that uses its activation, then that's one other deck. I don't think it's going to be like proliferate. I could be wrong though.
See,
I don't know
here's
that
my
any
problem.
standard deck is going to be built around the 4 mana ability. Like,
No.
what are you going to do?
I mean,
Wait, second
yeah.
Stoke? That's the only card I could see going with that, because you can.
Yeah, because
Pay
you
the
can
Stoke
pay
mana
for it
for
for free and just pay
Yeah.
for it. Yeah.
My problem is,
I feel like you're already winning though. If you have 8 sources quote, I feel like
Yeah.
you're probably already winning.
you only need to do 2 damage to it, and
Yeah.
there's a lot of 1 red type things that will shock it and get
Well,
rid
now
of
there's
Wildfire.
actual shock.
Yeah, there's actual shock. Better than shock now.
But, yeah, but
I already
better.
got my playset of it.
It's
Yep.
so good.
I got mine on. It should be here Wednesday.
Give her like 2.
Okay.
So I got
But
one
yeah.
out.
I like it, but like I said with Monastery Mentor 2, it's a 2/2.
Well, that one I'm more okay with. For Soulfire Grandmaster, I don't think it's ever actually very good. This is like a.
Yeah, I don't think. I think Monastery Mentor. I think is a lot better.
Monastery Mentor is the card.
This is a real
I think.
card.
It's definitely Yeah, it's 1 mana more, but it's a young pyromancer feel.
Mm-hmm.
But
Well, the effect is stronger.
the effect is a lot stronger.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in theory, but I mean, I'd much rather on turn 3 play Pyromancer, have 1 mana up to do something, than wait till turn 4 and play Menor and do something. The deck I've been trying to work with Menor is like a Convoke deck, so that you're able to get value the moment you stick them, so you have like Ephemeral Shields and Devouring Light and all that kind of stuff, so you can get value right off the bat. Because I feel like a lot of people are going to think this is Young Pyromancer, and that 1 mana really makes a difference.
Oh yeah, it does, because Young Pyromancer on 2, and then if they didn't kill it on turn 3, you're doing stupid things.
You play turn 3 with 1 mana up, and then you like, I don't know, shock or bolt something. That's why Pyromancer is really good. You can get that value essentially no matter what.
Yep.
It's just
We
hard
also
to
have to remember that Pyromancer's in an Eternal format, though. But this is not.
This is not an Eternal format card. I'm just going to play Pyromancer.
Everyone thinks it is, but I think they don't realize that 1 mana actually makes a big difference.
Yeah, maybe. I think there could be a deck that it would even play both. But,
Sure.
I mean, it would be kind of a weird deck. But I'd play it.
I mean,
tokens
Matt,
deck?
you and me play weird decks. I mean, that's just
Sure.
the way it is.
I mean,
I
you
should
can't,
say,
like,
Matt, you be proud. Villainous Wealth. I've been winning with it.
that card is solid. I have seen a lot of people groan at how big is the X? Jeez, okay, get my 3 Siege Rhinos and my whip and
Actually, my
a
buddy,
Hornet Queen.
I got paired up against him this week, Monday, and I Villainous Wealthed him for 15.
Ugh.
Got a Johnny Mentor, got his Sorin, got 2 Siege Rhinos. He's like...
Who's dead at that?
He
he's
looks at me.
How did he let you do it for 15?
I'm running it in a green-blue ramp shell.
I mean, you just play like Mono Green Devotion, and with two Caridids, you got it.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of I should say that a lot of the people I see playing that, they play that. I've even seen one guy, he jams like 3 Dictates of Karametra, so he plays that untapped.
Shh, that's my deck.
For 12 or something.
I have 2 Dictates in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's stupid.
I want that card to be super sweet.
Yeah.
Just because you can go so big with it.
Sorry, so Mentor and Standard. We're thinking big thing?
Yeah.
I think Mentor will do just fine. I think he'll get an addition into Jeskai.
I've seen him play in both Jeskai tokens, and I've seen him in Blue-White Heroic, and he's really good in both.
Oh, Blue-White Heroic,
he helps Blue-White Heroic go really wide. And so, I mean, they have to think, well, now I need to, do I board in my Anger of Gods, or, is that going to be worthless when they have a 10/10 Seeker of the Way coming at me? So it helps you kind of hedge your aggression. But, I mean, really, if you go, like, Ordeal, and trigger all of 2 or 3 monks, you're just going to kill him. Like, it is pretty strong, and you've already got the shell where you protect. You've got your 10 removal, or your 10 protection spells, or however many they play. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
well,
I actually think it's really good.
You play like 8, I think it is.
Gods and
Feet of Resistance
or Presence.
Yeah.
I know for me, I played 12 in my white shell. I played 4 of each, 4 Gods, 4 Feet, and 4 Johnny's Presence, and was really thankful for it. Just in a little dirtly white heroic deck that I was working on, but that and Acolyte's Reward, getting in there.
Oh boy!
Oh,
that card is sweet. Blows people out, and it has 2 heroic targets, so you can always just target 2 of your own guys.
Is this as good as Ravel? I don't think it's as good as Ravel Master, right?
No.
I think that they're actually different cards. They're way different cards.
Well, I'm talking about for the red-white tokens deck. Like, I think I'm just playing Ravel Master.
No.
They
play Menor, I think. I really feel like they just play Menor, right? I mean, Ravel Master is obviously better in top deck mode. Menor is just a 2/2 for 3. It's a Grey Ogre.
Yeah.
In top deck mode. So I think that Menor is better than Ravel Master in that deck.
Okay.
We'll see what happens. I think
I'm gonna go on the side of Ravel Master.
This Saturday we're gonna see if we're right, because it's standard.
What do you mean, see if we're right? Obviously we are.
Yeah. So I think we'll see a lot of Monastery Menor, and I think he's honestly he'll be about a $30 card for a while.
Don't say that. I already sold on mine.
I was gonna say I'm gonna unload the one I have. Not that I think. I think it's probably gonna scoot down to 20, probably 20.
He'll probably sit at 30 for the next 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah.
While people are really trying to scoop up what they can, And then as more and more fate is opened, he'll just kind of start doing his dip.
Yeah, he'll shift down.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to do the same thing every card does. He's going to shift down. I think the weird exception has been like Burma's, which should be cheaper than it is, but I don't know.
Brimaz is mythic and is just a strong card. And I even think that Pod was plan 1. Do I remember that right? Before Pod got banned, which I'm super excited about, but I'm sure we're going to touch on that.
I don't think Pod was playing any. They might have. They were switching to Anafenza.
No, I was running Anafenza in my Pod, not that.
I think that was pretty sweet.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Anafenza in the mirror, and if they didn't have it, was amazing.
Just wrecks them. Like,
oh my god, they're like, I am going to pod out my kitchen finks. It goes to the graveyard. Alright, it's exiled, have a nice day. Well, no, it comes back. No, Anafenza.
Anafenza.
And then
I'm sorry if I Anafenza'd you.
And then they look at you weird, and then they have to read the card, and then they go, oh.
It's a rest in peace for just you.
Joe. And it's a 4/4. That puts counters on the other guys.
That's right. Oh, yeah, and it does that. That's a pretty good card.
It's pretty good with kitchen finks.
Yes.
Yeah.
That card was silly.
Yeah, it is good when you've got kitchen finks. Sure is.
But no more Pod. Hallelujah.
Shut up.
So
I'm really happy Pod got banned. I know that, like, I've talked to people who are like, no, Pod shouldn't have been banned. It's not too strong. It's just so oppressive.
It's just not. I just don't care for it as a. I just don't think it's an interesting deck to play against.
Well, here you go. I'm a Pod player. We'll say that right now.
Yeah.
I'm not upset it got banned because I know the reasons why it got banned. Basically, Wizards just saying, hey, we're going to start printing really powerful creatures again.
They weren't unjust reasons. Yeah.
And we just don't want Pod to get so ungodly out of control. Which it's already starting to. I mean, God, Siege Rhino in Pod is stupid. I'm going to pod out of my Siege Rhino and go into Obsidian. What are you going to do? Lose.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
So, I get why they banned Pod. Now, everyone's saying, well, I'm going to go to Jund and I'm going to play... I'm going to go back to Tarmogoyf and... I'm going to play Junk and get my Goyfs and everything. I looked right at him and I said, do you realize that I could still take Pod out of my deck and still beat you with all the creatures that I had, basically?
A lot of people board out all 4 pods in game 2 because everyone brings in their artifact 8 and you don't actually need it.
No,
it's just a bunch of good stuff.
Every game I'd basically almost take out my pods and bring in other stupid things like Thoughtseize or something like that and just totally wreck them. And they were like, well, how come I never saw a pod? I'd pull them out of my sideboard and go, there they are.
It's just a good stuff deck that's too consistent because of Birthing Pod.
Well,
that's what the deck was.
Yeah. Pod just made it so you could toolbox something. Oh, I'm going to do this. Well, I have a counter for that.
Yeah, you can play less good cards like Warzab Pontiff that are really good in certain situations but less powerful overall. That's all that really happens. So if you want to play your Kitchen Finks and your Siege Rhinos in a mid-range deck, you can still do that.
Yep.
That's fine.
It's completely... I actually ripped out Finks out of the deck because I made it back to like a junk good stuff deck. I ripped it out, put in Pack Rat, and then I put in 2 Desecration Demons.
Okay.
Alright, sure.
Because who doesn't want to see a 6/6 for 4 flyer that says, what you going to do? You going to keep sacking creatures to me? Because there's really no token generators in Modern.
Lingering Souls.
That's about it.
Young Pyro.
Yeah, Young Pyromancer. But I think Blue-Red
I think
Delver.
Delver's going to be on the butthurt side for a while, so...
Blue-Red's less good now.
Yeah, not so good without Ancestral Recall. I mean, Treasure.
There's the tokens deck.
Yeah.
They wrecked it pretty hard.
Alright, so let's get back on track with actual Fate, Reforging Fate. So do you guys, I'll ask about the White Citadel. I mean, do you guys think it's going to do anything? Because it's not a horrible card.
Constructed?
Constructed. Do you think?
I like it.
I mean, because you could, at the beginning of combat, put 2 1/1 counters on a target creature. That's not a bad reoccurring thing.
Well, I mean, the thing is, like, it's better than Martial Law. Because, like, I liked Martial Law as a design, but it just wasn't very strong. Like, it felt like it was going to be a lot better than it was. But this, it can very well play both sides of it. It can be top end in like a budget white aggressive deck that cares about counters, maybe. And of course, I wrote about last week. I wrote about the infinite combo with 3 Citadel Sieges and a Sage Bowers, so you can just take infinite turns.
Yeah. I like
And
doing it.
yeah, me too. I enjoy that.
I actually don't mind this card. Like, at the beginning of combat, each opponent's turn basically tap a creature that player controls. So I mean, if they're trying to like blue-white heroic, where they have maybe one really big creature out at that time, that kind of fogs them.
I just wish it targeted Stormbreath Dragon. It feels like, obviously it can't, but like it feels like that is its goal, is to stop
target
the beatdown, and it's like, oh, but you can't stop Stormbreath Dragon. And I feel like decks that want to play that plan, they have trouble dealing with a Stormbreath, and that doesn't help. But that's still a narrow case, and of course, once Theros rotates out, I think it might actually be kind of sweet.
Yeah.
I don't want to throw this into my like normal Abzan mid-range deck though. This don't just go put this in any white deck. You need to be able to take it.
It's a brew card. I think that it's you obviously can play better cards, but I mean, you can go and look at deck lists if you want to play sweet decks, I guess, that win tournaments. But for me, I'm actually really excited. I'm really excited about Citadel Siege, just because I think there's a lot you can do with the entire Siege cycle. I'm very excited about the whole thing. All of them, I think, have roles.
I like the blue one.
Yeah, the blue one.
Me too.
I was gonna say we could get to that. I was gonna get to blue anyway because it really. We'll get like I'm getting the main cards out of the way, so, and then we'll kind of go. So
Citadel Siege was one of the main cards.
Well, it's a siege. It's part of that whole. Siege.
It's a rare.
Yeah, it's a rare.
There's 165 cards, so you hit on the big ones. That's cool. I think Citadel Siege is worth talking about.
Yeah,
it's cool.
All right, Monastery Siege is the one that we were kind of hinting on.
Yeah.
For 3 mana, at the beginning of your draw step, draw an additional card, then discard. So looting is kind of a big thing. I mean, because we have a card in Standard right now, 2 cards, Treasure Cruise, and Dig Through Time. We like cards in our graveyard so we can use those cards. This gives you that loot ability. Or you can choose the dragons and spells your opponent's cast, target you, or the permanent you control, cost 2 more.
Blue-white tempo, man.
That's kind of what I'm feeling. Like, you can really tempo
with
them out.
I really like both the modes. The deck I'm working on right now with Monastery Siege it uses the 2 illusions that are standard legal right now, the 4/1 for 2.
Yeah.
And it uses Nautilus, the one from Theros, the one that you can bestow, right? And you play that with Quickling. Yeah. Quickling doesn't target when it comes into play, so you can bounce anything to your hand. So if they target it, the trigger goes on the stack, you can Quickling it back.
And it's not
but it also gives
you just costs 2 more.
I was looking at Monastery Siege because I've been trying to kind of joke around with like a Jeskai control deck, because I really feel like blue black is like everyone's favorite, but I feel like if you get things like Anger of the Gods, it kind of is like a nice early board wipe. So I was like, would this go in there? And I'm like, God, that would be pretty awesome to choose Dragon and be like, oh, I'm playing a burn deck. What are you gonna do?
Yeah. I've thought of that application too. I mean, Lightning Strike looks a lot worse when it costs 4 mana.
Yeah.
Yep.
Lightning Strike or a 6 mana Stoke.
And it makes things like Stubborn Denial look a lot better.
Yeah.
Because then that one that they have to pay, they're already paying a heavy tax. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe not. But
turns your Stubborn Denials into mana leaks.
Just about. Yeah, right. It does.
Target non-creature.
I remember when I first saw Stubborn Denial, I thought it was just any spell. It was like actual Force Spike.
Force Spike with upside?
With upside, yeah. Nope, it's just non-creatures.
That was pretty good.
I was pretty excited, but no, indeed.
Baffled?
No, I do like that. And we did have someone talk about Tinkerer, which is, renowned weaponsmith. I think we'll get to that one later. Because it looks like a fun card. There's a lot of text to it, so...
I mean, if there's a lot of words.
Generally, if there's a lot of words, it's going to be something fun. The other biggie, though, is one of the mythics. It's Temporal Trespass. Do we see this seeing play?
Nope.
No. Why would I play
There's
this
just
when
no
dig
way.
through time?
There's just no way to leverage an extra turn right now. Like I'm trying to think of, if you think about it, a deck that really wants just the extra turn part, then you have like Chain Veil, and that doesn't see any play.
No.
Because Chain Veil, in addition, basically, if you're trying to think of, so what do you want an extra turn for? Do you want a draw step? Okay, well you've got draw spells. Do you want a combat step? Well, that one is somewhat reasonable, but think about the price that you have to pay to get a combat step that is truly effective to get 2 of them.
Yeah.
And then, and like an untap step. I mean, I'm trying to think of why you would want to have multiple turns in Planeswalkers, so that then you have Planeswalkers, but you have Chain Veil right now, and that sees 0 play. So this will see 0 play.
I did go Monastery Mentor into this at the pre-release. That was pretty fun.
Okay, that's actually pretty decent.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah, that's.
I still don't think this is good enough, but that was
But
cool.
I feel like most of the time you'll just want to Treasure Cruise or Dig Through Time.
Yeah.
Like I don't think you want to play blue as an instant and get whatever you want, whatever you would get your extra turn anyway, because you're getting 2 cards. And you can do it instantly and for less mana. And for less delve. I mean, that's so many delve.
8 is a
For
lot.
what you get. Yeah. I think if it was blue, if it was even blue 10, I think it would have maybe a little more potential. Just because then you could also use your turn a little more. If you had to just spend 2 mana and you exile your graveyard, but if you could then play another like reasonable spell, either a Planeswalker or like a Sweeper or something, I don't know. But with 3 mana, I mean, if you've got 6 mana total or 7 mana, then you just don't have a whole lot to play with.
No.
Yeah, pretty much. That's not very good.
So the next one, the guy that I don't know what's gonna happen with him yet. I think he's good. He is a mythic. It's the Torrent Elemental.
I like him.
He's a 5-drop 3/5. He's got flying, so I'm like, all right, I dig that. And whenever he attacks, we tap all creatures defending player controls. Well, that's kind of good because it's one attacks, not deals damage. So it's like I'm just turning him sideways, and well,
I like this last part.
Yeah,
the return from exile.
Yeah, his return. So it's like,
so you can
I'm gonna
delve him
delve
with
him
Soul
away.
Slayer and bring him back.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at. Is like you delve him away with Soul Slayer, and then be like, I'm just gonna bring him back. What are you gonna do about it?
I was even just thinking like, hey, in my CDC whip deck, it's a creature, so it's not too bad. I don't mind playing it. A 3/5 flyer for 5 isn't the worst, and it does tap everything. So if you're trying to race like lifelinkers or something, this is really helpful there, obviously, because they're not blocking. And then if you do exile it with whip or something, you can just cast it again. So I like all these things.
Yeah,
I wanted to. Funny enough, the first thing I thought of when I saw this card was that 1,000 Winds Elemental.
yes.
The one that you morph and it returns tapped creatures.
Oh yeah,
probably bad. Because you got to pay how much billions of mana to do it, but it seemed fun.
It's like 7.
Yeah, I think it's like 7 to flip it. It's not Pickles.
No,
No,
it's not Brian Elemental.
Yeah.
Screw that card, by the way. God.
I play it in my Horde and Ocean CDH, and this Torrent Elemental is going in my Horde and Ocean CDH.
yeah, I look at it and I'm like, this card just seems really good.
Mm-hmm.
I have it as a one of in a sideboard right now. I had it main deck and it was really cool, but I didn't need it a lot of times. But if you have a bunch of delve, it's just an answer they can't kill. What are they going to do? O-ring it? Okay, bring it back.
Cast it.
Yeah. What are you going to do? Kill it? Okay, fine. I'll delve it and get your whatever.
Yeah. Oh wait, my Soul Flare. I'm delving it now. I'm giving my Soul Flare flying, and oh wait, I can just bring it back next turn.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also just think like if you're playing this, you maybe want Tessiger as well.
So, I mean, the deck I'm playing, it's 4 Tasigur and 1 of those on the sideboard, and it's pretty nice. And you discard it a lot of times with this deck anyway, so.
Yeah.
So I think he will see play. I actually am putting him in my Soul Flare deck in some way, shape, or form.
I think that he is the definition of a one of.
Yes.
Just because you really don't ever need 2 of them. Ever. Because its ability doesn't trigger, really. And, well, get rid of 1. I think they're going for $4 or $5 right now. I think now's the time.
4. Yeah.
Yeah.
Get rid of these.
And I got 1 in my sealed pool. For the 2-headed giant, I got 1.
That was my promo. It was really strong. Cool. I played it and just wrecked everyone I played it against. Like, so you tap
think about it, It's like, so you have to think of it like Progenitor Sphinx. It's that same spot in the curve. It's hard to deal with. It's a 5 mana, 3/5 flyer. So it has those two things going for it, and you don't have to discard a card to keep the hexproof up. So yeah, you have some analogies you can make.
Yeah. What do you do? Exile it? Sweet, I'll just bring it back.
Yeah, it's just really hard. I mean, it feels like Aetherling, not as good as Aetherling.
But not quite as
comparable. You can. Yeah, Aetherling was pretty good.
Yeah.
It just feels so gross if they play it with 2 or 3 mana up. Ugh. Okay.
All right, so here we go. Moving on to black. There's a few cards in black that have been.
I think there's another blue card that I liked. Let me look for it.
Well, we're gonna.
I like Cloud Form.
We're gonna go through those.
The hexproof one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's sweet.
Yeah.
So we'll go through those here. The uncommons. I'm just hitting the rares and mythics right now. Brutal Horde Chief. It's a $10 card right now.
Sell it now because it will be like a $4 card in a week, and then it'll be $1.50.
I want to get rid of mine so bad.
Yeah, do you guys see it seeing play, or I mean?
No. Doesn't have
I don't think
haste.
so.
People are saying it's better than
really
Hellrider.
needs
It's
haste.
not better than Hellrider. Hellrider's
Like,
much
it's so bad on an empty board.
Hellrider says haste on it. It's so much better than this.
Yeah. They just
And
hit
the
him
5
with-
mana ability you're just not using.
I don't think so. I mean, basically, I think the only deck that'd be useful against is tokens or mono green,
Yeah.
I mean,
which is kind of a token deck with Hornet Queen.
yeah.
All right.
If you had this,
Next,
tokens deck is
Crux
pretty
of Fate. Everyone says this is Blue Black's new thing.
Is this the Wrath?
Is this the Wrath?
Yeah,
this
yeah,
is the
it's the
Wrath.
Yeah, this is good.
Yeah. It's yeah.
It's not as good as the white one, but
it's funny how many times I've seen people proxy up whatever and play, and it actually does miss something. Maybe they got a Storm Breath, or they've got one of the new dragons up. They've got the Kolagon or something online, and so like it actually doesn't completely sweep everything away.
No.
But 9 times out of 10 it will.
kills most of the stuff. And you got like Heroes Downfalls and Silence
Sure,
the Believers for the Storm Breath Dragon. So I think you can take the hit for that card, which really is not played that much. It's still played a bit, but not
Yeah, it's
not everywhere. So
Yeah, you're right.
yeah, I think this card's really good for that blue black deck. Then they don't have to play as many of those vaults, which
Yeah.
I don't think you want to be playing 4 of those. That's a lot.
Yeah. No.
It's
Perilous
a
Vault?
lot.
Yeah.
9 mana for a Wrath. This is a much
Yeah.
better rate.
Yeah.
A
So,
9 mana Wrath they can interact with. A way to destroy it or something.
Yep. So
Yeah.
here's the next one. I'm going to bring it up because I'm building a deck. We're going to talk about these decks probably in about 10
Soul
15
Flare.
minutes. Soul Flare it
Oh,
is.
I called it.
I love
Soul
the
Flare. I
artwork.
don't. Which one is
Yeah.
Soul Flare?
That's the
Oh, Soul Flayer. Soul Flayer.
Yeah,
I
Soul
thought you said
Flare.
Flayer. Okay. I was
Flare.
thinking you were saying Soul Flare. Flare.
Nope.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Nope.
That sounds cool
I
though.
think this is kind of
Yeah.
gross.
I think it exists.
I think this is definitely
was it
kind of
yes?
gross, especially because I'm going to put Chromanticore in my deck.
Yeah.
And just let you have to deal with this hexproof, indestructible, first strike,
Soul Flare?
flying, double strike.
So about cutting Perilous Vaults. No. No, I think Soul Flare is really neat. Even just as
It's
a
cool.
4/4, just a 4/4 for
Yeah.
2, I think it's pretty strong. Though I think a lot of times, I mean, if you have one Satyr Wayfinder on turn 3, you're sticking this in. Hopefully, you have one benefit.
Yep.
Yeah.
If I could get flying on a 4/4 for 2 mana on turn 3,
Yeah, either for recut.
that
for
sounds very
Indestructible.
powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or yeah, indestructible. Man, I want to put this in a green black deck now. I have to build this deck.
I
Oh,
already
yeah.
have it built.
I've
We'll
drafted
talk
up 2
about
or
it.
3.
So.
Yeah.
I think I can actually just throw this in a normal other deck that has anything that really turns it on. And it's
Well,
just
we
good.
were talking earlier that there's like a 5-color aggro deck that plays things like Manus Rider and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So, this just eats. It becomes a flying vigilant haste. Is
you can get
vigilance one of
something-
those things that's covered?
Yes.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
have a creature with first strike and double strike. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, and it looks like he already has double strike in the art because he's got some. You know how that's usually how
Yeah,
they,
like
they represent that.
Quadruple
as
strike. Look
multiple-
at all these spears, man.
So I definitely, he's a fringe deck. He's not like, oh, I'm gonna play him in every deck.
No, he's
No,
not.
he's a
safe.
fringe deck.
But he is neat. He is neat.
clever.
I definitely think that he's neat.
No.
But for
I'm a
brewers
fan.
like Matt Higgs and me, You could do stupid things with this card.
I just like how efficient it is.
Yeah.
Like, I like playing a 4/4 for
Yep.
2 mana with all upside. That just seems
Yeah.
real good.
Yeah.
I'm
Let's
right
do it.
with you. Moving
do
right
that? Can we
down
just
the
do it?
row from him is his buddy that you play in the same deck, is Tassigard the Golden Fang. Yet again,
Oh,
another delve.
I thought you were talking about below him. I'm like, the angler?
No, the Golden
I don't
Fang.
think
So you put the top 2 cards of your library into your graveyard and return a non-land card of an opponent's choice, so they get to choose to your hand.
It doesn't matter.
My experience, 9 times out of 10, they're putting your Thoughtseize back in your hand when you're at 4 life. But it's still it's not the worst.
Yeah. Like I said, I
you-
played the rest of the re-release and just wrecked my face. I could not deal with it.
Well, I
It's
think
so
that,
good.
like, yeah, I mean, a 4/5 for 1 mana is pretty much always really strong, and 4/5 is I'm pretty sure that actually that 4/5 is the best power and toughness in Magic because it dodges like everything. Like, it's not
Let's
getting
go.
blown away by like Selesnya Charm, and it's not getting blown away. I know Selesnya Charms aren't relevant, but you think of those kinds of effects, and but it doesn't die to Stoke the Flames,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know. I just think there's a lot of value in it.
I think it's
I
really
do
good.
He's
I like-
actually-
Every time
favorite
I've cast
part-
it in my proxy deck, it's been
Yeah.
amazing.
I think my favorite part about this card is you enable your graveyard a bit, and then you cast this, and you delve the cards you don't want.
Yeah,
And then you're like, all right, which of these awesome cards will you put in my hand? It's your choice. And you
Yeah.
just shrug.
I
Yeah,
definitely
I don't know
think
if-
that's like that's what's going to make him the most fun is he'll actually make your delving like instead of okay, well I'll just delve my non-creatures. You actually
Yeah.
think about it. It's like okay, well I don't really care about blah blah blah, and so
You're like
you
leaving
can-
lands, so they
Yeah,
can't
right. You leave lands, right? Yeah. So I think I really like that skill level. I like that point of skill
Yep.
testing. I guess I
Agree,
just think that's-
100%.
it's just a really neat interaction. And he's moving up, so pick up your set now. He was like $1 when they spoiled
really?
him. Now he's up to 6. You know, please don't start saying.
No.
Is he
Stop.
really just flying that high? Man.
Yeah, I got my set just yesterday.
This is the card I want, everyone. This is bad. You shouldn't buy it. Sell all of them. Okay, that'll help.
I picked up my playset already, so.
Yeah, I won. He's also a shaman, which is sweet. Maybe I should put this in my EDH deck even. Oh, it's a bug. Never mind.
Alright. So, red cards got a lot. And I don't know which ones are really going to jump out and say this is really good or this isn't.
The first one.
Alicia.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that one right off the bat. Alesha, who smiles at death.
What is
That's like the best
Everyone,
name
everyone.
for a Magic card ever. Alicia,
Alicia.
who smiles
Yeah.
at death.
These names feel like they're from Kamigawa.
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking, I can't remember if it was Mark Rosewater or who it was that said that basically they wanted to cater to the people that liked Kamigawa, which wasn't very many. I loved Kamigawa, but
There's like 20
they wanted to
people.
kind of cater to those people without going back, and this is kind of them saying, we're never going back to Kamigawa, so here's as close as we're going to get.
Yeah.
So,
This
because,
is- This is
that
close.
sounds like a Kamigawa name.
This is extremely close. But
The-
I have to sit there and look at it and go, what are they doing?
Yeah, it's power, guys. It's not converted mana cost. Like I thought it was. And I was like, oh, that's okay.
Oh, yeah,
no,
no.
it's power.
Power is much more
So
interesting.
good.
Yeah. When you actually see power, you're like, oh,
I understand now.
yeah.
Grey Merchant, Hornet Queen.
Stop. It's too much.
Yeah, I
Well, no,
said,
the sweetest interaction I've come up with that I actually just kind of it's not good at all, but it seems good is you turn 2 Generator Servant, turn 3 pop Generator Servant, cast Alicia, and then bring back the Generator Servant attacking with Alicia.
that's
you'll have-
just ridiculous.
It
Yeah, I'll
seems
do
cool. It's not relevant, but it seems cool.
That's a little ridiculous, sir. That's definitely a little ridiculous.
It
I think-
it sounds fun.
To fully understand what this card's gonna do, we're just gonna need to wait. I can't imagine that we think of everything that this card she could do, and someone's gonna walk into that SCG with a brand new Alicia deck, and they're gonna wreck everyone, hopefully, and they're gonna win, and they're gonna showcase why it's so cool, and Yeah,
And
that
it
would be
even
it.
goes in like Minotaur decks because a lot of the Minotaurs are 2/3s, and it's in the same colors. They're Mardu colors, so you can bring like Kragma War Caller is a 2/3 for 5, and so
Yeah.
like you attack with it, and it's a 4/3. Then I don't know. I think there's a lot of
There's a lot of
sweetness.
applications.
There's some cool stuff you can do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That is
Leash
the
is neat.
yeah.
It's a lot of
I don't
potential,
know.
and I
It's not a
think
staple, obviously.
yeah.
Only really works with certain cards, but those cards are going to be very happy. Even
Well, you
something
have
like
to remember
Stellar
this is
Grandmaster or the other White Mythic. Just bring that back. That's a lot of value. Monastery Man.
Yeah.
It's 2 power, man.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
It seems good.
but then you have to attack with your 2/2.
That's true. I don't want to attack with it.
And then you have like some sweet trick and good value. I don't know.
Next one,
Play like Death
the
Guy
new
sounds
Chandra's
good.
Phoenix. What do you guys think?
Dollar stance. What's that?
I think the
Shaman?
Phoenix is good.
The new Chandra's Phoenix, aka Flamewake Phoenix.
Oh, it's
I
not
think
as
it's
good as
good.
Chandra's Phoenix. It's good. But I think
No,
that's
actually,
a bad
part of me
comparison.
thinks that no. Well, yeah, I think it is too. Because Chandra's Phoenix, Chandra's
Great.
Phoenix was a bad top deck. This is not.
No.
Just because any 4-drop you draw is value, and you don't have to cast it again. You know, I remember a lot of times when I'd be stuck on 4 mana and I had to deal 2, get my Phoenix back to my hand that I can't cast, and wait a turn. And this is just value every time, and they
Yeah.
never feel good killing it.
Yeah, basically it's like, oh, I got a 4-power creature. Pay 1, bring it back.
I mean, just Ash Cloud Phoenix, just like
Yeah.
that chain is good, and
You make a Phoenix. These are like the 2 of the first good Phoenixes. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Usually you see a Phoenix like, oh, it's probably bad. And it's like, hey, it's a Phoenix. Ash Cloud Phoenix is pretty good. This one seems pretty good.
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, flying haste for 3, do 2 damage. Not the worst
Yeah.
thing. Go put
I mean,
it in
it
a
was
Soul
never-
Flare deck and give your Soul Flare flying and haste.
And hey, you can bring it back with Alicia if you don't have a 4-drop, a 4-power guy.
Yeah.
All of these things are good. I think this card is, it's not Chandra's Phoenix. That's
Right
for
now
sure.
they're sitting at 5. I think it's going to be...
Pretty good.
I think at 5 it's pretty fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably,
seems-
I'd say it's probably maybe a
I think most of the
$8
decks
card.
that won it won 4, so
Yeah.
I think 5 is what you'd
Yeah.
expect for something like that.
not a huge amount of decks want it. So I think I agree. 5. Like
Alright. Other than that, the big guy at the end, the Shaman. Shaman of the Great Hunt.
yeah.
Tamir gets a huge new creature to
It's
tinker
pretty
with. He's pretty badass. He's got haste. He's a 4/2 for 4. Automatically makes him okay in my book.
He needs another toughness.
Yeah, if he
He
had
needs
one
to
more
get through
toughness.
Courser.
Yep. But whenever
That's
a creature
fair.
deals damage to a player, put a 1/1 counter on it. That means he doesn't even have to attack.
Mhm.
He can just sit there, look pretty on the battlefield, and you're
If you're playing a
swinging
4/2
with like.
haste and not attacking with it, you've done something wrong with your life.
No, I mean,
Well,
dude,
I mean, you go like Hortling Outburst, and then turn 4 hit this guy, and so you get Spectral
attack with all
Procession
of
with a
them.
Johnny trigger
Yeah.
all over again.
or
Get in
you
there.
just have big old
Just-
Polychronos doing stupid things with him. And now your Polychronos is getting bigger and bigger.
He does that anyway.
Yeah, but now you're putting actual counters on it, so.
Yeah.
I still think
he
Holding
does also
Outburst
draw
has that
cards, which is a
pitch.
pretty big deal.
Yeah.
Like he gives you something to do late game if you're like some aggressive Timur deck, because you're gonna be playing like Big Nux, maybe Polychronos if he's good enough. Not convinced that he is anymore. You're obviously gonna have this guy out, so you're maybe drawing like 2 or 3 cards for 4 mana, and if you're just top decking late game, that's a big deal.
I've seen a lot of Timber decks that's a big problem for them, is they'll be stuck on lots of mana, and they're either looking to draw something like this, something that gives them a lot of cards, or a Crater's Claw.
Yep.
And, I think that it does have a role, but I don't know. It's not a 4 of, it's not a staple or anything, but it's neat. Like a 2 of, maybe?
Sure. Yeah, I can get behind that.
Yeah, that's fair. I think he's good. I want to try it out. This is one of the cards that I'm looking at. It wasn't very overwhelming at pre-release, but that's a different format. So
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
not going
that's
to be
a
that great.
whole different thing.
He's just a giant
Fair enough.
cockroach then most of the time.
Giant
With
card.
haste.
Yes, with haste.
in red.
Now we're into green.
Not very close.
Green Mythic, the Warden of the First Tree. Do you guys see him being as good as people think he's going to be?
Well,
No,
if people
I
think
don't.
he's as good as Figure of Destiny, then no.
That's what
But
people are thinking. He's a figure of destiny.
I think this
So
card.
basically, he's a centaur. So he's a 3-mana 3/3. I think there's not going to be a whole lot of times where you're going to make him a 7-mana 3/3 flying life, or
Yeah.
what is it, trample lifelink.
Yeah.
I think 90% of the time he's going to be a 3/3, and he's never going to get bigger.
He will just kill your opponent super hard if they let him go, though.
Oh yeah,
It's a
sure.
one drop, so I don't mind it as a one drop because it does have relevant abilities to keep it good.
Yeah.
And then late game, it is still pretty decent to draw. 'Cause you're instantly it's a 3/3. You maybe can get it to the lifelink thing, and then you swing next turn and you can just be like, oh, it's an 8/8.
Yeah.
And if they can't deal with your guy before it becomes an 8/8, they're probably dead. So
No, I was about to say they're dead if they can't deal with an 8/8.
I think he's relevant. I don't know that he's like a crazy insane card. So,
Yeah, feels like a rare to me.
Yeah,
I
it
was
kinda
gonna say
feels
he
like
doesn't feel like a mythic.
Yeah.
none of this cycle really does.
No.
The
I mean,
shaman or chief and the
Maybe
Torment.
the problem is, you can only play him in 2 or 3 decks because he's not green to activate him to make him big, which is weird because actually I think all of that would have fit in green. I know it's not really the set because it's we're
Yeah, but if you're
plans and
green
whatever.
doing this, then you could do stupid things like, oh, I'm gonna build a mono green devotion, put him out.
I guess lifelink is the non-green thing.
Yeah, I guess they don't. They have other ways to gain life, but not as lifelink.
Yeah.
If it just gave him trample and it was all green mana, is this like way better?
Probably.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I could be wrong.
I can see that.
Well, then he's
I
making
just
a
don't
green.
feel I don't feel like he's gonna be super strong.
No, I think
Let's
he's
see.
fine.
He's at
Costs
$10,
him-
so if you guys got him in pre-release, just dump him.
So
Trade
you're
him
basically
away.
paying 13 mana for a 3/3 flying lifelink, or 3/3 or 8/8 trample lifelink.
Yeah.
It's not a very good rate.
Yeah.
I'd rather
Like
just
I
play
said,
a talk to him more.
The thing I like about him is like if you top deck him really late game and you have a bunch of mana, he's fine. If you play him on turn 1, I'm also okay with it. He just kind of, I don't know, he gets there sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm not in love. I'll say
Yeah.
that. I think it's fine. I'm not making him. I'm not trying to say this is better than.
Yeah.
Like.
He's not Figure of
Monster.
Destiny.
Yeah, no, he's not Figure of Destiny. Obviously, that card.
That
was-
card was
like that.
really good.
Yeah. Alright, I'll give you guys the next 2 cards. I actually have to run really quick. Just grab some more water. The
Okay.
Yasuva Dragonclaw and Whisperwood Elemental. Go.
All right, Yasova. I think it's okay. I don't know if it's gonna be that great.
I
What do
like
you
her. I mean, I think that she's. For me, I love tempo. Super love tempo. Always. And there's potential in either color combination for her to do that. I actually don't see her in a regular Temur deck where you just want, like, Knuckle Blades and, like, that Shaman thing. Like, I feel
Yeah.
like you want it in a deck that's a little more spell-focused so that you have, like, ways to bounce their creatures and ways to treasure cruise and, ways to build advantage that doesn't actually involve playing a bunch of bruisers. And so, like, Yasova Dragonclaw is a 4-mana ferocious, or a 3-mana ferocious enabler, which is, Boon Satyr. That's kind of the same area. And the decks that I've brewed with her so far, like Boon Satyr kind of decks.
Yeah.
And
It's better.
I think that she does have potential. 3 mana is a lot to pay for an activated trigger, but I don't know. I mean, it disincentivizes the quality of their creature. Like, they're like, all right, I'm going to play the Siege Rhino. Okay, I'll take it and smash you in the face with it. I mean, I think that there is potential for Yasova to be good, but in, like, 1 or 2 decks, maybe.
Sure. I almost think
What's-
Boon is just better. Like Flash seems like a better ability than this.
And yeah, I think you could be right. Boon Satyr, I've always been confused why Boon Satyr isn't played more. It is so good every time.
It's
you
really
have it.
good. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
I think even
There.
especially with the new set, Trigger and Ferocious, and you usually play it just in the Timber deck anyway. That's just so much value right there, man. 3 mana, it just does all the things.
Mhm. Yeah, right. It turns on your Ferocious. It makes a powerful aggressor. See, I like the Boon Satyr untap into this Shaman of the Great Worm and get sideways.
Yeah. Yeah, let's do
Yeah.
it.
See, like I feel like that's reasonable. Then you
Yeah.
got two 5/3s, and
Two
you
five
have
threes.
your
Good.
if you have a mana ramp guy and you've got a stubborn denial, you're probably just gonna win a game.
Yeah. It's pretty difficult to beat that. I also like, we're getting off track here a little bit, but I like that Boon Center makes your mana dorks into threats. This doesn't do that.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, that's fair. That's fair. As I say, I think that Yusova is not in the typical Timber deck. I think that she
yeah.
is a tempo. She's very awesome tempo in my mind. But who knows if tempo's even good? I mean, I've been trying to play tempo this whole format, and it's just value creatures, and so you're not getting that far ahead.
Okay. So was the other one the
The
Whispered
Whisper
Elemental?
element,
I like this one a lot.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, seems fine.
just like on turn 5, maybe you play this in your devotion deck or something. Turn 5, play this guy go. You get the
You need
manifest
like you need like Burning Tree Emissary, so that you've got other guys that don't actually cost you anything, so that you can play this guy. You can
Yeah.
Emissary Nixos into this guy seems really good.
That's really good.
Yeah.
But
But all
I
the same,
like that you're
I think
manifesting. Pardon?
I think he's pretty good despite that. But
Yeah.
I'm just not sure if Manifest is that great.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
the
I
thing.
guess this is I don't know if you just I feel like this is like a 2 of and a sideboard for mono green against like
Sure.
the Crux of Fate and Hostilities kind of decks, because you
Yeah, I
can
don't
get to it before they can get to it.
I don't think this is just like a main deck staple,
No.
but it seems like it does have some really good abilities here, and it does give you the value. So it's an inevitability threat. Like you're just gonna keep manifesting, and eventually they won't be able to deal with their dudes, and you're gonna force them into wrathing just the one creature, and then you manifest, and hopefully you flip some of your other manifests by then, and you just get to manifest more. If manifest is good enough, then I think this is probably good enough to do some stuff. If it's not, and 2/2s are just not relevant in any way, then I think this card's just a complete wash.
Well, I think that I mean 2/2s are going to be good against most control decks, so I really think that this is an excellent choice sideboard for mono green devotion. But that's
Okay.
where it lives. I mean, you might play like a 1 of if you can chord for it or something. If you can chord for it, actually, that's kind of sweet because then
Yeah,
you have
if you chord for
anti-wrath
this in
in
response
searching.
to the wrath, whew,
Yeah, that's pretty
that's
sweet.
a blowout.
Yeah,
It's
but I
got
think
its
that
applications.
it's not. Yeah. Let's see. Until
Mhm.
end of turn, face up. Okay. I was trying to think if it had some cool interaction if you had multiples, but not
Multiple
really.
Whisperwood Elementals? No.
I suppose you could actually. Well, you could sack both and get double triggers.
Do you get double?
Yeah,
Whenever
it sets
this
up
creature
delayed
dies. Oh,
trigger.
yeah, you're right. Yep.
Yeah, so I guess you could.
So it's not awful in multiples.
Yeah, it's not awful. Yeah. Well, and of
I
course
guess-
you get the end of turn trigger too.
Yeah. So if you have 2 out, you sack the first one, and then you sack the second one, you manifest off of the second one.
But so like, what's this in competition for in mono green? Like, I think no one plays like Arbor Colossus anymore. Again, I don't know why. It's a really good card. It's just a 6/6 for 5 with all value.
You're making a lot of mana, so it's not a big deal.
Yeah, right. And it gives you 3 devotion.
Like Nissa?
Yeah, but I don't know. This actually could be better than Nissa in certain situations.
Yeah, I think in certain situations.
Yeah.
Not versus
I'm not
Perilous
sure.
Vault.
Not versus Perilous Vault.
Yeah, my lands are
Yeah,
for
and you want
Perilous
Nissas all the time.
God, yeah. So I don't
It's
know.
fine.
I think it's a cool card. I guess Pat's still going because it's taking forever. So
I had to read it a couple times when they spoiled it to kind of understand what it did, because I think they spoiled this shortly after they explained Manifest, and so I had to kind of okay, so Manifest is kind of morph the top card of your library and hope it's a creature.
it's a really weird mechanic.
It's just it's a weird mechanic. I'm
Yeah.
not sure how I feel about it. 9 times
Okay.
out of 10, when I played it in the sealed this weekend, like I'd put like a good spell there or a 2/2 or something. Like it was never like, oh, look at this sweet Manifest. Like in one game in my first one, I put like a Defiant Ogre, like the 5 or the 6 mana Ogre that doesn't even get its ETB trigger when you flip it. So it's just a 3/5 for
It's already
6.
bad.
Ugh. And so there's a lot of feel bad I think about Manifest that
Yeah.
may make it not so great.
I like
so
it
what are we
with
on now? Sorry.
We're still talking about the elemental.
Okay.
yeah, I like it with that morph card. The Hydra. The people
Yeah.
talking about that little
I think
interaction.
Hooded Hydra
Yeah,
and
Hooded
Mana
Hydra,
Stone
that's the
the
one.
only reason that Manifest might be a thing.
It's pretty funny. 2 mana
Yeah.
flip is a 5/5.
Yeah, and it dies and gives you a bunch of 5/5s.
Yeah,
And
I
then
like
you
that
flip
a
up your
lot.
Master of the Pearls and hit him for 15.
Oh man. That's valuable.
That's living the dream.
The Manifest deck. It's the same as it's practically the Miracles deck.
Yeah, yeah,
Just
yeah.
it's winning a Pro Tour. Calling it now.
I've been trying to figure out like a blue-white way to do Manifest with the new Jace, because he kind of lets you set up Manifest consistently. You don't have to scry a bunch. You can kind of get there with that new kind of weird blue divination spell, like the Manifest. And so I've been fiddling with it. It's probably nothing.
And then the last ones we'll talk about. Any of the rare dragons do we see making an impact in, shall we say, standard?
Well, Asylum Gar is just like big old middle finger to Elspeth.
That's true.
Because like both of its abilities, I have 3 power, you can't kill me, and I'll just wrath your tokens every time I attack.
Yep. And it has hexproof.
I think that the problem with Kolagon, I'd really like Kolagon, but it's just going to be fighting for Stormbreath slots.
The dash one, yeah. I'm just going to play Stormbreath.
I don't know, though. Actually, I know that people have kind of passed over it, but I like the green-white one. I mean, that is a big guy in a color combination that doesn't really get big flyers.
And you get the bolster off it.
Yeah, and by itself, it's attack you for 7, attack you for 9. I don't know. I don't think it's terrible. I think out of...
I don't want it that much.
Yeah, I think you probably could be right. I think, but I don't know. I just feel like, I don't know. He's an evasive guy in green-white.
Mm-hmm.
That's really big. He's really big.
He hits hard.
Yeah, he's a really stout hitter. And so I think that I don't know. There might be some weird mid-range deck that would like a singleton of it. Yeah. But I don't think any of these are, Asylum Gar seems like a black-blue finisher, kind of. Like, maybe
he's
like a 1-of in the sideboard against Elspeth.
He's in my Soul Flare deck as a 2.
Oh, sure, flying hexproof.
Yeah, hexproof, yeah. And it seems reasonable. I've talked to so many people in my store, and I think this is just my store. It might not be, but everyone's just like losing their mind off Solongar. I don't understand why.
He's fine.
He's okay.
He takes so long to kill you.
Yeah, he's a 3/7. I'm gonna kill you before he does. He doesn't have vigilance or anything. Like, he can't block and hit me.
Now the next big question is: all right, we always bring a deck to the table, something new, something different. If you could go into a deck or into a, shall we say, F&M tomorrow, and have a brand new deck, because
it's DC. Wait,
a brand new deck, and play it, what would you be playing tomorrow?
Waste Not.
Your Waste
I think
Not
I want
deck?
that Soul Flare deck. I think the Soul Flare deck's really cool.
I have my Soul Flare deck, and I think that's going to be the baby.
It's A, really cool, and B, it's just right up my alley. Like, this is the deck that I want to be doing. I love Graveyard Synergy. I want to play Tussager. I want to play... I mean, Soul Flare wasn't specifically something that I really wanted to play, but now that I'm just thinking of it more, I'm like, there's so much you can do with this. I want to play that.
That's the thing, is you could do... I mean, you don't even need to have the color. It could be like, I just need to get it out of my graveyard. They have a card they printed for 2. I don't know if you know this, Brandon. It's a red card. But if you splash red into that format, you get Tormenting Voice. So additional cost, you'd have to discard a card. So if you need to get something out of your hand into your graveyard,
you
can do it.
I don't want to do it. I'm not going to splash red. Just play Satyr Wayfinder.
Yeah, man.
I'm running 4
Tormented Voice doesn't block.
Thoughtseize myself if I have to.
I don't think that's what you want to be doing. 2 for 1 yourself.
I don't think so either,
2 for 0 yourself.
2 for 1 myself just to get a Soul Flare out, and then the Soul Flare dies. I don't feel good about it.
People don't play Erebos' Emissary. I mean, they need fuel. We don't have Lotleth Troll anymore, so we have to play a 4-drop, but...
I miss Lotleth Troll.
That's why, this would be broken on Lotleth Troll.
Lotleth Troll forever. Dude, Lotleth Troll
I'll discard
modern
this.
now.
Does it see modern play? I mean, it's
not there's like that Dredge Mine deck.
Oh, okay, sure.
That's supposed to be good now with Grave Troll. I don't know if it is. It doesn't seem worse, that's for sure. I was playing against it a couple of days ago. Did some modern testing. It seemed pretty good. So, I don't know. It still has the same problem where it's like a little inconsistent.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it seems fine. So, but yeah, I would definitely go with my Soul Flare deck. Matt, I do want to hear about your Waste Not deck, because I am a Waste Not fan.
So. Well, we missed the card.
Yeah, the one that actually makes waste not sweet.
Well, I was gonna go back through. Okay, now let's go to commons and uncommons.
No, I mean there's a mythic that we missed.
Which one did we miss?
Again,
Oh, the really bad Rise
Oh,
of
the
of the Dark
planeswalker
Realms,
that.
or the Planeswalker.
guys. No, the planeswalker. Yeah,
Yeah, the planeswalker that. Yeah. Okay.
that I don't think is that great.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of said planeswalker.
Yeah.
I like it.
What about you, Matt? Do you think Ugin is playable?
Yeah, I mean, I
Okay.
think so. I mean, if
That's
you
fair.
consider, you know, if you are not dead next turn, and even then, a lot of times you'll not be dead next turn after you wrath the board.
Mm-hmm.
It has a lot of impact. It's just the question of whether an 8-mana spell is good right now.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of times I see people with 11, 12 lands out there and just ripping stuff, and they're okay with getting to 11 to 12 lands, part of their plan. And so,
Yeah.
I don't know, is Ugin better than whatever they're doing to finish the game otherwise? A Pearl Lake Ancient. Like, I do not like Pearl Lake Ancient at all
No.
as a finisher, and I just feel like this is 1,000 times better. And,
Yeah.
certainly a green deck has a role to play,
Do
to
you think
grab
Mono
Ugin.
Green Devotion comes back to do something like this?
Frontier Siege. Frontier
That's
Siege.
what I was about to say. You have Frontier
That-
Siege, which just.
that
No, I call it
is
Tron
sweet.
Tier Siege.
Right, yeah. That's clever. That's clever.
There we
Tron
go, I
Tier
did it.
Siege.
I'll
That's
be
clever.
here all episode. Leave tips for.
Yeah, and I think the decks that I've built with them are green based.
Yeah.
Because you
just
gotta mana
because-
ramp them out, basically.
Yeah, or I mean, you just have to, consistently live to turn 8.
Yeah. Seems similar to Garrick, the 7-mana one, where it's
Which
like
you
if you
never saw
cast him,
play.
you're just gonna win,
The deck,
or you're probably win. It's just
yeah,
it's so
right,
much
Garrick,
trouble to cast a damage.
Apex, whatever.
Apex.
Yeah, the truth is, like, Apex Predator doesn't win you the game on the spot. This can get real darn close. If you Wrath for 5, even if you're nuking all your own stuff, like the build I've been playing with Ugin is Nissa, so it's all forests, so that you can actually use their other plus that no one ever uses. And if you minus 4, if you minus 4, then you keep your Nissa and Ugin, and I think you just win.
Well, even if you have to kill your own Nissa, you still get to keep all the lands you made.
It's true, yeah. You keep any lands that you made.
They don't.
Because then, if you're clocking them for 7 a turn, your land and your +2, that's pretty quick. You can knock them down pretty fast.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's got potential in some situations. I just don't see him getting there.
I mean,
If I were to guess right now, I'd say no.
Well, I mean, you have to consider, would a colorless Nicol Bolas be good? Probably.
Yeah.
So I think Ugin, probably.
Is he $30 good in standard though?
Oh sure. I mean, there are going to be decks that play 3 of them, and he's like because he can go in every big deck. You can have theoretically mono red big stuff and mono, and we still do have Nykthos.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I mean, I think that there's potential, though. Obviously, Nykthos is kind of a non-bow with a -X, because then you could never cast any spell ever again.
Yeah.
Nothing big anyway. But I think that it's big. The deck that I've been working with on Ugin is a blue-black big stuff deck that plays Disciple of Deceit, because all of the cool draw spells, Dig Through Time, Treasure Cruise, and Ugin are all the same cost. So you can just throw away your extra Ugin to go get Dig Through Time, or you can throw it away to get... So yeah, it's kind of cute. That's the one I've been working on right now. I have a blue-black, and I have a Solte version that splashes Frontier Siege.
Okay.
And I don't know which one's better. Probably neither. None of the above.
The Soul Flare deck.
Yeah, right. Yeah, the Soul Flare deck is better.
Okay.
So, alright, so yeah, Ugin definitely. Now, I'm going to draw the question out, because we had our ban list come out. And we now know we have no more Treasure Cruise.
Are we doing
Nope.
standard first and then modern?
Well, just work with me here.
Okay.
So we have as of Friday, tomorrow, we have no more Cruise, no more Dig, and no more Pod in Modern. Does any of these cards move into a Modern spot?
No.
No,
Not
I don't
close.
think so. Let me just thumb through the blue spells, because that's all the ones that generally
Yeah.
matter. And, like, Ugin doesn't replace Karn.
No. Karn's still legal.
Yeah, right. I'm just saying.
Karn's
That,
is better.
I'm just trying to think if there's any card that...
Temporal
See, I've been goofing
Trespass
around.
in the Delver decks.
I like... Okay, so I like Meringue River Prowler. I know we're not there yet, But I want to figure out a way to do Meringue River Prowler and Heartless Summoning. And figure out some way to, like, make it relevant that I'm casting the same creature over and over again for 1 blue mana. Probably not.
Play Legacy and you can play that Legacy deck.
Storm. I can play a Storm deck.
Yeah.
High Tide. High Tide Meringue
Yeah.
Prowler. Sweet.
Now I was thinking Food Chain. But
okay.
there's that one, the cons card combos with Food Chain. Tornado. Oh no. Yeah, it does, right?
Yeah. Right, yeah. Sacrifice and add mana, right?
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
Now, my next question is, okay,
Your minds are blown
out
right
of
now.
the commons and uncommons, which ones will make the biggest splash in Standard right now?
Valorous Stance.
Yeah. That card is really powerful.
That card.
Really powerful.
The
I mean, Reprisal saw 0 play, but this will see a decent amount of play.
Yeah,
well, I mean, Blue-White Heroic takes this and goes, oh, I can make a creature indestructible. Well, it's a Johnny's Presence. Cool. Or I can destroy something.
No, it's just value all over the place with this card.
Yeah.
Just actual Doomblade.
Um,
Because, I mean, anything that you want to kill is 4 toughness, especially in that
yeah,
deck.
it kills all the things you care about.
Yeah, it's not actual Doomblade, but it's actual Doomblade for what it matters.
Clearly, Greathorn Cruciak. I see
man.
is going to get there.
That one is really
I believe Channel Harm. No, okay, never mind.
cool. Let's see. Kind of thumbing
6
through.
mana? It's too many.
I
don't
know
if
that a
there's
lot
any-
of people are excited about Soul Summons just because it's the cheapest manifest spell, and they're doing their whole Master of the Pearls thing.
Yep.
Sure.
I
do like Soul Summons triggers prowess. Like, that's a thing.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it does.
I was doing that at pre-release. It felt really good.
Yeah, it feels.
There's
good.
a few I like. I like Neutralizing Blast.
Are we just doing white
oh,
first? You want to do... Okay, all
I was
colors.
just going all over. I was Neutralizing Blast, counter target multicolored spell.
That one's interesting, yeah.
For 2 mana, that's not bad at all.
I'd just rather play Disdainful Stroke, I think.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
because
don't
if
know.
you're countering Siege Rhino, you just want Disdainful Stroke, and if you're going to follow it up with a Nissa, you want to just counter the Nissa. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think of what's 3 mana that I have to counter that,
Anafenza.
Yeah, Anafenza, but you
Sure.
kill Anafenza.
But is there anything else, though? Like, is that the only card? Because I don't think it's...
Manus Rider, Savage Knuckleblade,
Yeah, I mean,
Sure.
those are the big 3s.
Parika. I'm just trying to think of what it
Okay.
can. Yeah, maybe not. Ashiok. It does counter Ashiok. That's not
Sure.
irrelevant.
Yeah, these are things. I think I'm going to play Disdainful Stroke, though.
I think that's the thing for me. Is most of the time that's what I'm playing.
And what is
Disdainful Stroke's
the...
great.
I gotta find him. There he is. Jeskai Sage. Everyone says a control deck needs Jeskai Sage.
No,
Okay.
because
Deck?
like Surveilling
Yeah.
Sprite. I mean, like Surveilling Sprite was okay, and
Yeah, I remember Surveilling Sprite. It wasn't that
So-
amazing.
it blocked flyer. Well, but the thing is, like, I've been testing Jeskai Sage in like a red-blue aggro deck.
Yeah, like in Tempo deck.
Yeah, like prowess,
Yeah.
and it's fine. It's not outstanding, but it's a lot better than Jeskai Elder, which is what I was playing before. And Jeskai
Okay.
Elder is actually a really, really terrible Magic card, and this is much better.
Hey,
It's still
man,
not super
Elder's
crazy,
good and limited. Don't disrespect.
but like I'm trying to like the closest analogy I can think of is what was the one from Alchemist Apprentice? Was it from Avacyn Restored? The one that you could sack and draw a card.
Yeah.
That's kind of what this is, and this is a little
that
worse
good?
if that's the application. No, that's what I'm saying. I don't think it is.
Yeah. Doesn't seem that great.
And so the card you're playing with Waste Not is Dark Deal, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm doing in Magic Land.
Practically
it's-
Wheel of Fortune.
It's really fun. It's really fun interaction. You just curve right into that guy, and you get so much value.
The hookup.
So
Like, you
what are
really
you running?
never
Like 4
break.
Thoughtseize? You're running...
Well, here, let me
Waste
see
Nots.
if I
Yeah,
see if I
let's
have
hear
the
this
list
list.
handy. So well, I know the list. It's four Tasigur, 2 Doomwake Giants. It originally was no Doomwake Giants, but it needed more threats. And then
Nice.
4 Thoughtseize, 4 Despise, 4 Sign in Blood, 4 Waste Nuts, 4 Dark Deals, and I need 6 more cards. Oh, 4 Murderous Cuts, 4 Bob Lights, 4 Bob Lights, and then a 1 of Whip and a 1 of Empty the Pits. And then just black and blue lands. Because out of the board I splash 4 Ashioks.
Okay.
And so far, it has been really impressive. It can kill Jeskai, it can kill Red Aggro, it can kill Blue-White Heroic. Like, it does a lot of work. And really, I mean, if you waste on into Dark Deal, well, depending on the hit, they might as well just scoop. You know, because they're going to be working with less cards. You will have mana to Thoughtseize and Despise, draw on Thoughtseize and Despise to pick out their hand, and you'll have like 2 or 3 zombies. Like, it's a very, very difficult if you can curve out with it. And the thing is, you're not actually playing that many bad cards. Like, Waste Not is probably the, because it depends on other cards, it might technically be the worst card, or Dark Deal, actually. Because Dark Deal is actually your losing advantage when you Dark Deal. Because you're spending the card and the mana, and you're actually drawing 1 less card than you had. So it's like a weird black Faithless Looting. So those are like the 2 worst cards, but everything else is very playable. Tasigur, Thoughtseize, Despise, Sign of Blood. And like there have been situations where I'll use that mana and the cards I drew, because I've got a full grip, I'll Sign in Blood them twice, and then fire off a Dark Deal with what's left.
Yeah.
So you get more value. And they're 4 cards or they're 4 life down.
They said Ascendancy was the only combo deck in Standard. Doesn't sound like it.
No, sir. That's
pretty sweet, really actually.
And I think like I'm going to test it over the next week, and I might take it to Indy.
Okay.
The weekend after this one. Because I wanted to go to Washington, but it's too far.
I like Battle Brawler. The 2/2 for 2 that gets +1/+0 first strike if you have a red or white permanent.
Yeah.
I think that seems really strong. So like 3/2 first strike. 15 mana for it.
It's really tough to block. I mean, like Wojak Halberdiers didn't see a lot of play, but this is in many ways. The problem is you can get blown out. You can get blown out with that. Like if you're depending on the first strike to get through, and they're like, "Oh, Wild Slash, your white permanent," and you're like, "Oh."
I feel like Magma Spray is going to make a comeback.
Just play Wild Slash. I don't think Magma Spray is going to see much play anymore.
Yeah, I want to do that for 1 mana.
Yeah, I don't want.
Yeah, I think this card's pretty decent. Like you can build a budget kind of deck with this, or I mean, it might be good enough in like just a Mardu deck that wants to be really.
There's so many warriors now. Like there are so many warriors. You can just play like mono warriors, like 36 warriors, and you can even play that coercion if you don't want to. If you want to stay completely on theme. Diplomacy of the Wastes. It's not actually coercion because you can't pick a land out of their hand, but it's Thoughtseize, but they lose 2 life instead.
Oh, that one. Okay.
And it costs 2 more mana.
Yeah. I mean, they even cost like Woe Reaper, or they printed Woe Reaper, which seems like a pretty decent warrior if you're playing.
The white one, yeah.
It's better than the heroic black one. It comes in tapped, so I think that Warriors deck did get an upgrade. And I do remember seeing them playing like Hate Blades and stuff, and I think this is just better. So.
Oh yeah. 1,000 times better than Blade.
Yeah. I think that Warriors deck does get better. Which is cool, because it was a cool strategy.
And the ones I was brewing up, I was actually still playing Soldier of the Pantheon, even though he's a Soldier, not a Warrior. Just because he's a 2/1, and you need that kind of thing.
Yeah. He's a 2/1 for 1.
It felt so gross, because he's like, oh, he doesn't get any bonuses. No,
he doesn't, but I think he's just fine. I mean, I think, honestly, there's a lot of new stuff. I kind of like your Waste Not deck, I'm not going to lie. I mean,
it's really fun. It's super duper fun.
And I love fun. I mean, I think Ascendancy gets a little bit stronger, too, though. Jeskai Ascendancy. There's a few good cards in there.
The more non-creature spells the more playable non-creature spells, the better Ascendancy gets.
Yeah.
Which is why it's super good.
There's the blue tap a creature draw card.
That's the white one. The blue one is untapped.
Oh, yeah, untapped.
Ice?
Yeah.
It's weird they have ice and white.
Is untapped. So you can do some goofy stuff with that.
I just, like, from a flavor standpoint, it does not seem like they should be switched.
See,
like, Pressure Point should be a blue card, and the untapped one should be white.
I don't know. It's in both colors. What's the Refocus, right? Is the blue one? Yeah. Yeah, I've been trying to fiddle with I've been trying to fiddle with like a 4 Pressure Point, 4 Refocus deck with Battlefield Thaumaturge, so you can like Treasure Cruise super fast and like trigger Prowess a billion. I don't know.
I keep wanting to say no Treasure Cruise is banned now, and then I'm like, no, wait.
No, it's standard. It's
different format.
Still a card.
Yeah, I mean,
still good.
There's enough cards that I think you're gonna see a lot of new little things, but I think. What do you guys think the top decks are still gonna be, or is there something new that's gonna come out? No
Jeskai
knows.
tokens. I still think that's going to be way up there.
I think it
Objon's
was
still
like the
going to be
best deck
good.
going on. Tokens is so
Yeah.
good. That deck
It's
is
really
nuts.
good.
Yeah.
It's just really
So hard
good.
to beat. And like the 3 mana mythic Monastery Mentor actually seems like that's one of the decks that goes in.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
just better. Here's my other ascendancy, you know?
Yeah,
Like, it feels so bad when they've got Hordling Outburst and that Mentor and they stoke with Ascendancy. You're like,
Ugh.
oh gosh, because then they get to loot and find another stoke. Ha ha ha. Get all the guys.
GG,
And
yo.
get sideways. Yeah, man.
I like that
Yeah,
deck.
Monster
I
is
mean,
really good.
I think any deck that's playing Seed Rhino is still going to be good.
Yeah. I mean,
Still Seed Rhino.
I
Yeah.
think that there's not going to be a big shakeup. There's going to be a couple substitutions. But I don't know. I mean, the Dark Deal, I'm really serious about that Dark Deal deck. It's really good. And it makes the Waste Not kind of build
Matt-
much more viable.
Well, Matt, if we can get you on X-Mage someday, you and me, we'll test it out. We'll see what it does.
Well, hopefully, see me in the top 8 next week in Indy
Yeah, that's what it is.
with that deck.
Is Indy standard?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so. Hope so. Even if it was just a 5K,
I thought
I'd
it was
probably go.
Well,
Legacy.
yes.
I thought Indy was
Someone's
Legacy.
showing up with.
I don't think so. Let me check.
I'm checking right now.
It's standard. I
Yeah,
remember looking at this at some point.
yeah, because it's only an hour and 45 minutes from me, so that's about as
That's
close
not
as
too
they
bad.
get. No,
Yep.
no, it's not bad. That Cincy, which they don't really do them in Cincy anymore. They do
Nope,
them
it's
in Columbus.
Legacy. It's a 20k Legacy. I was right.
It's Washington, isn't it? Washington's the next
D-
one.
Yeah, what?
No, DC's this weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's standard. And then
Yeah.
next weekend is Indy, which is Legacy.
You are right. It is Legacy.
Oh, you're not going to
Oh.
Washington. Oh, okay, sorry.
No, I wish I was going to watch it. Oh, that's too bad. You were right. I thought it was standard. Why would anybody want to play Legacy when the new standard just came out?
Because Legacy players don't play standard.
Ugh.
Or a lot of them don't.
And
They're like,
I'm not
no,
bash-
it's the best format ever.
Not to
2000.
bash Legacy players, I am not a good enough Magic player to play Legacy. I'm so bad at that format.
I've heard
Oh.
you just play Brainstorm, you pretty much win, so.
Well, but you have to know
I
what
heard
you're
that's
brainstorming
really
for.
untrue.
I don't think that you can just pick up a deck in Legacy if you're not a Legacy player and do well with it. Because, I love to play it because it's really fun. You get to do all these really sweet things, but I'm just really bad at it, and I'm still playing it like standard. Okay, I guess I'm attacking now.
It's
I'm just not
it's really
actually-
tough to pick any of those decks up. Like, I've played a bit of elves. Guys, it's not easy.
like
you need
modern
practice.
modern is my
Eternal format.
modern is the most advanced I can get when
See,
it comes
I
to
love Modern.
considering play decisions. Yeah, I
Modern's
love
like-
it too.
I will be putting
It's-
something
that's
new out in Modern here pretty soon. I don't know what I'm going to do exactly yet, but it'll be probably something pretty fun and considering...
You have to now.
Well, I'm thinking Soul Flare and Lotla Troll. Go.
Go.
That's what I'm thinking.
Alright. I'm thinking I played Tarmogoyf still because I invested in them, so I better play them.
Yeah, I mean, really, they're what, $215 right now or something stupid.
Yep,
yeah,
and going
crazy.
up.
I got them for cheaper, but jeez, so much.
I
money.
remember a friend of mine when we played Future Sight for real, like when we opened packs and drafted it and whatever. He pulled a
Yeah.
Tarmogoyf, and at the time I was going to sell it for him for $40, and I lost
what
it
a
somewhere.
deal.
He gave it to me to sell, and I lost it. I have no idea where it is. And this was, of course, this was 6, 7, 8 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I ever find it, I'm going to sell
You're
it
gonna
for him.
find it,
Make
and be like,
nice
man,
profit.
$200 bill right there, found it,
Right? Yep.
found money.
Nope.
Really is, though.
Yeah, the Soul Flare deck I'm working on has one Tassigar. It has 3 Flamewake Phoenixes, because I can splash
Sure.
red pretty
Flying
easily.
Haste.
Yep,
And you
Flying
just
Haste.
mill it in Flying Haste.
4 Chromanticores, because, yeah, it's a card. 4 Sylvan Carridids, because I need the mana. 2 of the Silumgars, because Flying Hexproof.
Flying Hexproof.
3 Farikas,
Yep. Yeah, right.
and
You start
4 Satyr Wayfinders.
Wayfinders.
Those are my creatures, and then I add in 4 Heroes
how do you
Downfalls.
how you get rid of the 2 Chromanticores you inevitably have in your opener.
I actually use Tormenting Voice.
He's running thoughts.
Okay, you do actually play Tormenting Voice.
I play Tormenting Voice.
Okay.
It's gonna be my answer.
So it's
for
basically
everything.
Jund. So it's like Jund, but you're playing.
Yeah.
Because you don't actually need the blue source, I don't think.
No.
No.
Nope. It's pretty much Jund. The blue source is if you actually have a Silumgar in hand and you actually cast it. So.
Yeah, I mean you can just use the green one.
Varied, yeah.
But I have, you run 4 Wooded Foothills and 4 Bloodstained Mires. That will get you taken care of pretty much all across the board.
1 mountain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
no,
right.
I'm
Yeah,
saying
and
that's
one.
probably right.
Yeah, you run 1 mountain. You run 2 Evolving Wilds. I mean, you can grab anything with that. A Mana Confluence evens it out. 4 Opulent Palace.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you can't play
back.
Savage Lands.
Nope.
Didn't realize we were supposed to. I'm
So,
sorry.
My current.
I will not lie. It is pretty solid.
My current brew list for Fate Reforged is 35. 35 brews
It's a lot.
from Fate Reforged.
I have about a dozen.
I have
And
0.
one of them
I have
has-
not even thought about it
One
yet.
is Mono Green, Colonian Twin Grove.
All right.
Is that the forest one?
Yeah, that's the 6/6 if you play a bunch of forests and then you get another 6/6.
Alright.
Okay.
Well, it's
Same.
XX, so it's basically whatever
Yeah.
force you have.
Whatever you want, yeah.
Right, yeah.
So.
What else is good, though? I know Wild Slash is good.
So, okay, so a
Let's go.
card I actually think that is really, it's, in a way, it's actually very flavorfully under the radar is Break Through the Line.
Yes.
I think, so I've built a red deck. It's pretty standard red stuff, but I just feel like it's actually really good for mono red who don't want to play like Hammer Hands and Blinding Flares. Like, it sneaks through your Rabblemaster, it sneaks through your Swift Spear, it sneaks through everything in that deck, it sneaks through your Fire Drinker Saver.
Yep.
Because that's like the biggest problem with that deck is they can't get around your darn Hornet Queen that you stick on time.
The enchantment.
And yeah, the enchantment. And
Huh.
I've built it and bought the I already had almost all the pieces, but I bought a set of Break Through the Lines. And I'm going to test it out this week. I don't know. I feel like it gives red a really reliable push.
Yep.
That it's not like, okay, we're going to figure out some way to ping you. I actually get a lot of value out of my stuff. And like it plays like 4 Titan Strength, so you sneak your guy past and you Titan Strength. And you play it with like Hordling Outburst, so you can sneak all of your tokens through. And if you have enough mana, you can play it and pay for it, so they can all get through.
So, can you sneak Rabblmasters through?
Oh yeah, you just do it before they attack, and then you can Rabblemaster, cast your Rabblemaster, pay for it so it has haste, and it sneaks right through and gets your bonus.
And you like hit him for 5 or 6 or whatever. From your
Oh yeah,
I was wondering.
makes Rabblemaster a bunch better.
Yep.
This
And
card
of course it triggers.
seems really real.
That's what I'm serious. I played it in the first deck of the pre-release, and it was really strong. Like it was just nice to be able to force it past like their 5/5s and stuff. Like it was just nice to be able to force that through. And if
I'm
you're able
looking
to
at it,
leverage
and I picked up a whole. I went online and did a full set of commons and a full set of uncommons because I decided I can't just go. I'm gonna buy all the uncommons, and I looked. I'm like, it's like $30 for uncommons. I'm like, no. So I'm like, I found someone selling a playset of everything for like $25 on eBay, and I said I'll just buy those.
Yeah.
Commons and uncommons, you mean?
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty good. This card, I hadn't really thought about it at all, but it actually seems pretty real in a couple decks. Obviously, you want to be able to use this. You don't put it in your normal decks, but
well, but the deck it plays like Eidolon, which is of course a 2-power. But also, I think the reason I like Eidolon as a 4-of in this deck is you don't need to play other spells because you can force yourself through.
Yeah.
And so, at least I think it has some potential. Of course, it plays like 4 Stoke the Flames and stuff like that. It's a fairly standard looking deck, but cards that would otherwise be outclassed, Foundry Street Denizen, they actually get some reach, if you're able to. And I actually do play the full set of 4 Break Through the Lines.
Okay. I really like that you can do stuff like Foundry Street Denizen. You talked about that, but even like Rabblemaster, just you can force
Rattlemancer's
stuff
just
in.
gross.
That's so
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, and it plays 22 lands, so you have plenty of lands to play your spells and activate.
That's so cool.
I'm gonna try it and
I
see
like
if
this
it's
card a lot.
anything.
What about collateral damage?
It is a
Lightning Bolt.
bad card. I have tested it, and it is really terrible.
Okay, that's fair.
Oh, I did. Like, so I played it in this Jeskai Sage deck, and like thinking, aha, I sack it and get a, whatever. But I never had the Jeskai Sage, so I always had to sacrifice the one guy they didn't kill to deal 3 damage to you. It's always just really bad. So you either just want Lightning Strike or Wild Slash. You never want this.
The one I'm looking at is if you build like a Mardu Warriors or just a Black-White Warriors deck, Harsh Sustenance.
Yeah, it's like Dogpile.
Yeah.
Is that an actual card, Dogpile?
Yeah, it's from Ravnica. It was deals damage to target creature or player equal to attacking creatures you control.
Yep.
Huh.
For 3 and a red, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this is better.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is better because you don't need to attack. It's like what's the one? The red card from Massive Raid.
Yeah.
Is the one I was
This is.
Yeah,
I
that's
really
what
like
it's
this
Massive
because
Raid.
you say you have 4 or 5 creatures out. I mean, for 3 at instant, that's kind of ridiculous because they don't even need to be attacking. It deals X damage to target creature or player, and you gain X life, where X is the number of creatures you control.
Yep.
I've been fiddling with this and like a Raise the Alarm, Triplicate Spirits kind of thing.
That's what I'm looking at, is something like that with a lot of warriors, just a lot of warriors.
Yeah, that's pretty
And
cool.
of course, like Elspeth's good.
I know this one's probably awful, but it's funny. I want Grim Contest to be good. I know it's not.
It's so
I just
expensive
really
for
want
a fight.
it.
Yeah, it
like,
needs to be black-green. It needs to
just
be
call it
ticked.
Blood Fight. Like,
Yeah.
it's great.
I'm trying to think of like where you could really leverage that into being a good removal spell, like where you'd actually get a benefit from. I'm trying to think if there's like a life linker or something that you could.
I got it.
Turn it.
You're gonna play Archer's Parapet.
No.
Yeah, you're a good old 0/5. I was actually trying to make a wall deck, and it's just so boring to play, and it's not even that good.
Yeah.
Like I was looking at like Raise the Alarms and the Triplicate Spirits for that deck, but then I look at what you're talking about, Brandon. I'm like, no. No.
Obvious joke is obvious.
So we will move on because I have a friend who actually has come up with an Ugins deck, and he wanted us to talk about it a little bit. So,
what about the green stuff?
So how do you feel about the Ugins land out of Cons?
Isn't
What, the
Ugin-
Crucible?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's probably
Oh,
bad.
man. I wish that it was just tap. I wish it wasn't one tap, it was just tap.
No, not that one. The one that if it blows up, you get an extra turn.
Oh, Ugins Nexus.
Ugins Nexus. There you go.
I mean, best case scenario, you're using 2 cards to get an extra turn. I mean, I feel like we're kind of back to the temporal trespass problem.
I don't want to do
It's a lot of work for just an extra turn.
So he wants to do something stupid with it. I said, go for it.
I'm gonna play it in Vintage.
Yeah, I mean, you can stop their time walk, counter target time walk.
Well, they're time ball too. Can't win a time ball anymore.
They're right. Yeah, they can't.
There you go.
Block you.
So what do you think about Arcbon?
If you pair it with
That
something that
card's
has
fun.
lifelink, it's silly.
It is a little silly. That's why I like Anger of the Gods with the 2-drop. Soulfire, like Anger of the Gods, you gain like 15 life.
Yeah.
It seems fun.
Like
But I keep trying to think if it's actually, sturdy enough. The problem is you've got to be ahead.
Yep.
In the same case with Earthquake or any of those kinds of cards, you have to be ahead, and they have to be dealing enough damage to make it relevant to lose your entire board. So I feel like it's like what Mono Red wants against like Mono Green. They're like, I'll block with my 9/9 Pelucranos. Okay, I'll wreck your board. And so I don't know if that's where you are. It's susceptible to removal. But I don't think they could have made it any cheaper. Like 1 in a red, I think it'd be too good.
Yeah.
Even red. I think it'd be too good.
It's really
But
cool.
it's cool. It's very cool.
Is
And
it 3 mana? I thought it was 4.
now it's
No,
three.
it's 3.
It won me 2 out of 4, 2 out of giant matches because it deals
Really
to
good.
each player, so it hits them both for 6 or whatever, and so it's pretty good. It's neat.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's got any. It's really conditional. It is the definition of a conditional card.
Yeah.
But
It's got
yeah,
cool
I
art.
mean, if you got it,
If you got it.
if you've got it, it's pretty funny. It's a fun way to win a Magic game.
Tell us about the weird deck that
Huh?
plays Arcbound and Ugin's Nexus.
Oh wait, it plays them in the same deck.
No, he's playing
Oh.
Ugin's Nexus, and he's playing Shrapnel Blast, and
Sure.
yeah. The
So
blue-
it's 7 mana to take an extra turn and deal 5 damage.
Yep.
I mean, again, I think Ugin's Nexus needs to be way cheaper for that to
What
be.
is it? Is it 5 mana?
It's
Jeez.
5 mana. It's just way too
Never
much.
mind.
Cast it with the
can
Weaponsmith.
afford it, It's bad and vintage. Too.
Cast
Yeah,
it with
unless
that
you have
Weaponsmith.
Weaponsmith
That was
out.
like 3 mana.
Huh?
Yeah.
If it was 3 mana, I think it might be actually semi-reasonable, but 5 that's way out of range.
Because the effect's really not that good.
No,
it
it's just
hoses
taking
some
turn.
people. You know?
And I don't know if there's any way to take, except for Sage of Hours, I guess.
Sure.
'Cause there's
Yeah, it's clearly
one of the
not.
guys one of the guys that's in class with me, he has like a Bant heroic that builds around Sage of Hours in like Solidarity heroes. It takes like 4 turns, and it's a pretty strong deck. He clobbered me with everything. He clobbered all of my decks except my Waste Not deck.
You gotta send me this list for the Waste Not deck. Sounds sweet.
I think I
Tagged
pretty
him.
much told you. Let's see.
Yeah,
I'll
man,
post
just
it.
send me the list, and
You're gonna
I'll
play
probably
that.
end up building it just to be that guy.
This is actually a little out of date. Let me change one thing.
We can do it after.
So
Okay.
what I'll do now is there any questions from the people watching? Anything you guys want us to talk about?
Clearly, everyone wants to know about Goblin Boom Keg. And if it is the new coming of something.
It is not.
No.
No, it's pretty awful.
No, but see, I was trying to. the deck that I'm fiddling with right now is Renowned Weaponsmith, and it's that
Okay.
and 4 Meteorite and 4 Goblin. So it's like colorless burn because you can actually ramp in a Meteorite on 3 with that card and shock something. Because like Meteorite is super bad as 5, but if it's a 3 mana thing that just requires you to have another card, maybe that's a little more playable. Maybe not.
So
but I
don't
keep
think
trying
so.
to.
So we'll
I
talk
think
about
so.
Renowned Weaponsmith now, anyway, because yeah, is it a good card?
Well, I mean, it's Vidalcan Engineer that searches for really bad equipment.
Yeah, what is Vial of Dragonfire?
It's from the next set.
Oh, it's not out yet. I've been
Yeah.
looking for Vial of Dragonfire and I just can't find it. I get it now. Because, Heart Piercer Bow is awful. Just truly
Yeah.
bad.
It's not very good.
But
if it was
you
1
can-
and 1 to equip, like 1 to cast, 1 to equip, maybe
Indeed.
like a sideboard against like in the mono red mirror, I could see that. Like you could
Sure.
equip a couple of those, and no, probably not.
Put it on your Death Touch guy.
Yeah.
I think no, the bow does the damage, doesn't it?
I don't remember.
Oh, whatever. I didn't read that card enough to know.
Yep.
Yeah.
But for me, I don't see it being good. There's just a lot of text. I don't think it's a
If it was an
Wait a minute, I
artifact,
thought we were saying that earlier that a lot of text was good.
Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not.
So
It's almost
okay, so
always
basically you
good.
have to look. You have to compare it to Chief Engineer, which is out now, and does a similar thing.
But Chief
but
Engineer is a
way
lot
better.
better.
I'm not convinced actually, because Chief Engineer so I play a mono blue artifact deck. I have been working on that deck from the moment in Soul Artifact got spoiled, and it's really sweet. It's a good deck, and I play it in standard, and it's a lot of fun. But all to be said is sometimes you actually want to get in the red zone with your Bronze Sables and your Phyrexian Revokers. You don't want to tap them down so you can play your Juggernaut, which is what I do with it. And so just providing 2 mana, it's the same size body, and it's I think it's an Artificer, same creature type, So they're very similar to each other, but just being able to tap one creature to get 2 mana instead of two creatures to get 2 mana is actually not that bad.
Yeah.
That's fair. I don't know if it's enough
Yeah, it may not be enough.
to make it better. I think I like the other guy more. Also, there's a sweet full art of the other guy, so.
Well, and also you can use the weaponsmith to pay costs too, so you can equip with it, and you can't do that with engineer.
No.
Yeah.
So like the deck that I'm covering next week, everybody here gets a sneak peek. So
Spoilers.
So I have an A-Team themed deck, and
Dun,
it
dun,
is
dun,
yeah.
dun, dun.
So and it's a Heroes Blade deck, and so you have everybody. You have like I've assigned every legendary creature that you play for a Heroes Blade. Like Shu Yun is Mr. T, and I think I had.
18.
I'm trying to remember. So yeah, it's like an 18 theme deck. But anyway, but it plays like, because if you play the Weaponsmith and you on turn 3 you untap, you play your Hero's Blade, and then you play your 3-drop legendary, bam, there you go. And you couldn't do that otherwise. You can't do it with Engineer, and Engineer is actually just a bad card if you can't do that. But also, the Weaponsmith can pay the 4 mana to equip.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, it's obviously not a real deck, but it's fun, and I think that the Weaponsmith may, in many cases, be better.
Okay.
We'll have to
Sure.
The Engineer, the Chief Engineer is a combo card,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah.
But I think the Weaponsmith is pretty sweet.
Now, my next question is, because we have our standard experts here, is there a card that breaks Jeskai Ascendancy more, where it's actually going to become more of a combo deck again?
In this set?
In
I
this
don't
set?
think so.
I don't think there is. All of the draw card, tap or untap, like those aren't good enough. They're not cheap enough. They need to be just a 1 mana cantrip. They're not Defiant Strike. They need to be Defiant Strike. So let's see.
No, nothing.
I don't think so. Let's see. What's red?
Whisk away. I mean, Refocus is okay.
Nah.
No?
What are you untapping?
Well, I'm
No,
asking,
it's
is
an
there something
expensive
that makes it an actual combo without going into something like green or something like that?
Oh, no.
I don't think so.
I mean, like, Refocus can untap your mana creature or whatever, and then you tap it in response, and then Refocus resolves, and tap it.
Used to play, what's his name? Karai did it. Like the combo version that played the Burning Anger kill.
Yeah.
Like, I guess it's okay there.
I don't think it's very good. Like, I don't think it's better than you're doing, but...
No, I think that deck's pretty solid.
This set, very on purpose, doesn't have anything that makes Ascendancy better.
I think maybe so.
Like, either Ascendancy is going to be good, and that's cool, or it's going to be awful, and we're not going to try to pump it. Because if it is good and we make it better, then we may...
We'll break standard.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, is there a card out in this deck that will break standard? Yes or no?
That breaks standard? No.
I don't think so. I mean, the thing is, this is a winner set, and so it's going to contribute to some decks. They're going to find some better cards, some replacements. But I don't think there's anything in here that's woo. I think Monastery Mentor might get the closest, but even then, it's still just helping an already good deck.
Yeah, I feel like Menor and like Tassiger are maybe the two best cards. I don't see either of them doing anything crazy.
The reason I ask is
Menor's gonna be
we
good.
got to wrap up. We got about 10 minutes before we hit our magic mark where YouTube then splits us into more than one video.